So, part one, the box. So I have ordered basically a head unit to go in the F-type, which brings to my F-type both AirPlay and Android Auto. This is the box that's turned up. Like most people, I've been looking at seeing what I can do to address the shortfall in my car. Primarily for me, it's Android Auto that I'm interested in. Looked at lots of different solutions. There's lots of chat on the forum about the Merriway unit and units like those, which not only change the 8-inch screen to a 10-inch, but effectively are Android units in their own right. This is slightly different in that it brings Android Auto to an overlay on the standard system through an add-on box. It's also considerably less. There are plenty of providers out there. Most of them you'll find on Alibaba. I actually came across these guys. They're UK based, which is brilliant. Most of the conversation with them so far has been absolutely spot on. Been very clear in terms of advising me, and it's nice to be able to have that immediate support to hand in your local language. So at this point, can't recommend them enough. They've been absolutely brilliant. I've got this unit on the basis that it will work, but it's not been tried in an F-type before. My model's one of the odd ones, in that it comes with the head unit that's based on the Harman system, so not the Bosch system. It is the kind of mid-range one, so it is Meridian but not surround sound, and there was quite a few around the 2016 and 17 mark that came with that as a system. So I'm going to look at plugging this into my Harman unit. You'll have seen on some of my videos some of the modifications I've done to the car already. This is going to go in the similar spot to where I put the amplifiers in, which might give me a bit more of a challenge than somebody doing a fresh clean install, but we'll come to that in the next video. So firstly, let's have a look at what they have sent me. So in good old YouTube style, we'll do a bit of unboxing. Open the box. Sat in the top is a load of installation instructions, and as I say, one of the benefits of obviously getting these from a UK company is it's all in English, which is great. So as you can see, it's for a Jaguar unit, and there's a number of cables and the interface box that's within here. They've all been checked off, and then there's a number of installation instructions. However, I'm going to be trying to interpret these in terms of what it might be in an F-type, but I'm not too worried by that. As long as it works in the XE and the F-pace, it's just going to be a matter of location, I think, within the F-type. So I'm expecting great things. As you can see from some of the instructions, these to me look like they are taken directly out of Jaguar's own platform. Screenshots look very familiar. And this obviously talks about the installation in the F-pace and XE. So we won't worry too much about those. There'll be a good reference point. And then there's some quick start guides and some troubleshooting guides. So a good starting point. Really pleased to see that. So in the box itself, here's some cables for LCD out and in. I think what will be important for these for location is how long they are. So effectively what you're doing is putting this in line with the head unit and the display. There is quite an interesting inflated packaging here. I've not seen that type of packaging before. It's almost like it's inside a mini floating sunbed. And then there are some more cables, one that's labelled USB. There's some cables here which looks like it's the main power out cable. So I'd imagine you unplug your existing cable from the back of your head unit and plug this one in, which I would imagine powers and provides a few outputs for the new unit. So I can see some video inputs on the end here, and this one's labelled audio out. So good clear instructions and labelling. Quality of the cables looks pretty good as well. So yes, we'll put that to one side as the original cables, and the USB one, and there's one more in the bottom which says aux, which just looks like a normal 3.5mm cable. So that. And then we come on to the actual unit itself, so I'm going to fold that back. So very interesting packaging. Oh. And there we are. So obviously a warranty seal label on one end, and you can see clearly labelled the inputs. So there appears to be obviously the LCD in and out, a microphone socket, media, which looks like a HDMI socket, power and touch, which I'm assuming comes from one of the cables that we've looked for. If I flip it round to the other side, we can see that there is a micro USB cable which has got update on it, so it must be for firmware updates, an RGB in, and USB and CP USB, so I imagine that's the cable that we just saw, and then there's an aerial as well, which I imagine is for wireless CarPlay. However, unless it's in the packaging somewhere, and it might well be in here, I can't see the aerial at the moment. There looks like in this packaging there is, at least from what I can see, it's obviously the LCD in and out cables, and there appears also to be a little plastic trim removable tool. And if I look round this side, I suspect, yeah, that possibly looks like the aerial cable. We'll know more once, actually, if I can pry open it. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look at what else we've got in here. So in this, yeah, there's the aerial, and also something else in there, which will be interesting to understand what that is. So that's an aerial, and microphone. So that comes in the packet as well. I have to work that out, whether the standard car microphone will work or whether that's going to need placing in the car. If that needs placing in the car in the location I'm thinking of, that's quite a long run to the front. And here are the LCD in and out cables. Obviously these are FAC type cables, but the interesting thing about them is they have these two wires on the outside as well. Anyway, that's the packaging, that's the box. We'll move into the car next, in the next video, and we'll have a look at location wise.